tried to be a stripper. That didn't go
No.
well. No. I walked in and she said no. And he told me that she introduced it like, you're not gonna like this, but I'll play it for you. And it was my demo tape. And it had I try on it.
So they signed you within about 2 weeks of all this?
Yeah, he sent me an offer the next day, and I was super young, and they offered me $35,000, and I was, I had never heard of money like that,
And is it true kind of somewhat about your ex-husband?
What?
The track I Try?
Oh, yeah, that whole first album is about him. He used to tell me, he goes, stop writing songs about me. I had never done any acting. I really wasn't interested in it at all. I didn't see myself in front of the camera at all. And then, and he goes, by the way, Denzel is in it. And I said, what? Because I didn't know. I never asked. And then I didn't even read the script because I didn't plan on doing it. So I said, what? And then that's when I kind of agreed to do it because I wanted to meet Denzel. That's how stupid I was.
65. Welcome to Grind 365, the podcast. I'm your host, Down Low. Today we have a legendary singing sensation with 25 million copies worldwide, 5 Grammy Award nominations, winning one of those. Multi-platinum records, gold records. She gets in a little bit of acting too. It's the loving grandmother, Miss Macy Gray. How you doing?
I'm good. How you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
How's the tour been?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's been, I think all but 3 of the shows sold out.
There we go.
Yes, good.
And you got the new cover track out right now?
Yeah, we covered, so we're celebrating 25 years, 25th anniversary tour. And then, we're doing like cover songs of my favorite songs from the past 25 years. I don't know, we're just running the 25 in the ground, But No One was one of my favorite songs, and we did a cover of it. It's pretty awesome, though. It came out really great.
Yeah, you got the the 3D animation, kind of like the paper character thing going on. By the way, check that out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go visit the YouTube. How's the reactions been with that?
Good. I mean, it just came out about 4 or 5 days ago. I haven't really been checking.
Yeah.
I go on my Instagram and stuff, and people say, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful," but I don't know the numbers and stuff.
And you got some legendary covers, Creep by Radiohead.
Yeah.
Can't forget about that one.
Yeah.
And you got a cover album out there too.
Yeah.
So, and it's beautifully sung, so.
Thank you.
Well, like I said, welcome, just diving, straight into your journey. How was life growing up in Canton, Ohio?
It's the Midwest, like my next door neighbor had a cow, had 1 cow. That was it.
Just one. It was a low budget balling, or is it?
I don't know. That's just Canton. And then, everybody has a dog. And there's a bunch of factories there. It's a factory town. Like, we had a Ford factory, the cars.
Okay.
And then Hoover, the sweepers, vacuums.
Yeah.
That's there. Steel, my dad worked at a steel factory. He poured steel all day. And then, so, it's like simple life. It's like, 4 seasons and dogs, and everybody has a car, family.
So they have Ford out there too? Because I know they had Detroit area as well, right?
Yeah, so Canton just had a huge Ford factory.
Oh, wow.
So mostly everybody worked at one of the factories. My mom was a teacher her whole life, and I had a huge family. My mom has 12 brothers and sisters. My dad had 9. My grandfather has 21 though, so go figure. So I have a lot.
So you got a big family.
Massive, yeah.
And I heard some of your siblings are kind of doing pretty well with their career. I think your brother, is he still own a gym and whatnot?
Yeah, he owns a gym in Philadelphia, and my sister does her own, like a herbal, like an organic healthcare kind of line.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Mother Bessie's. It's pretty cool.
Hey, check it out.
Yeah.
I realized too, you and I, we kind of have a similar situation. Your stepfather stepped up as as a father figure.
Yeah.
And my father did the same thing. And it's just beautiful because it's like we have a lot of kids right now without fathers, so it's like the stepfathers ain't even got to be doing that, so
Yeah.
it's when you can say it's not my stepfather, it's my father,
Yeah, that was my dad for sure.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, he was definitely my dad.
Were they tough on y'all? I mean, because your mother was a teacher, right?
Yeah, she still teaches. She's 80.
Oh, wow.
She doesn't get up and go to school every day, but she
Oh, okay.
tutors people and stuff. But yeah, they were pretty strict. My mom's favorite word was no. My dad's favorite word was no. So
You just, you had to grind for it, huh?
yeah, it was just no all the time.
What grade is she teaching?
She taught middle school, 8th grade, English, math, and then her first job she taught kindergarten. She was in like the public, grade school, middle school, mostly, and then she became a professor. She taught at Akron U for a while,
Oh, okay.
and she's always tutored since I was little.
I mean, what'd you want to be growing up as a,
I used to want to be a firewoman. I wanted to like put out fires, and I wanted to be a doctor. I don't know about you, but that was my mom and dad. They always told me I need to be a doctor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't tell kids that anymore, huh?
They probably don't, honestly.
I know.
With so much stuff opening up, like now I'll go see a lot of people would be like, I'm a content creator or I'm this and that.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing back then,
No, not at all.
You know?
Like real jobs.
Yeah.
My dad taught me how to cut hair. I never got good at it, but I can do like a little fade a little bit. So I was gonna be a barber. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you used to play a little piano and stuff and
Yeah, I took piano lessons when I was 7, since I was 7, and then till I went away to school. And so, yeah, I always had music, and my mom and dad were really social. They had a huge family and lots of friends, so there was always people over, so there was always music playing, So.
what music was you growing up to?
Mostly soul music. My dad was a huge James Brown fan, like how people feel about, I don't know, Drake. That's how my dad felt
Okay.
about James Brown. And my mom's number one was Gladys Knight. So, and then when I was coming up in Canton, they only played black music after midnight. So my family was really pissed off about that. So they never let me listen to other music. So I only heard like, soul music, R&B, they call it now.
Okay.
But
yeah, because you guys down the street was Motown right down there in
yeah,
Detroit.
Yeah.
So is that kind of a lot what was played and whatnot?
Yeah, Motown, I knew all those songs and but then I think, what was it? What was MTV? 19, I don't know how old you for.
The MTV, like the raps or the jam or?
Just the show, 1984.
Oh, okay.
And then they only played, rock and roll when they first came out. And so that's how I was introduced to other styles of music. But before that, my parents would not let me listen to anybody but black artists,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I grew up on.
I mean, speaking of Motown, I heard it was kind of cool. I think you had said Deanna Ross had gave you like some presentation type advice. For like the stage, I guess, or whatnot. What did she tell you again? Because I know you were saying.
Oh, no, she didn't really. You mean I just watched her, like when I got my record deal, I just watched how she moved. I kind of studied her because she was just so perfect, She was, I don't think she still hasn't made any mistakes. I don't think so. She's like the perfect artist. So I just used to study her and how she would move and stuff. I met her, actually, Evan, her son, is a really good friend of mine. But every time I see his mom, I get really starstruck.
I would imagine.
Yeah, too nervous to say anything. So I never got to know her,
Or was it, I heard a story too, I think you said Gary Coleman. You had got starstruck?
Oh, yeah, I Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay.
The actor, yeah.
Okay. He just popped up at your house one day, huh?
Yeah, he just rolled up. No, it was my daughter and his son went to the same, I think they were in first grade together. And she had a party and he dropped his son off and he just walked in my house and I just froze. I couldn't believe it. Because he's one of my favorite actors, you know.
Yeah.
So I just literally stood there while he walked past me. I never even said hello. I know, I get really starstruck.
Well, fast forward, you ended up going to USC. Mm-hmm. And I heard you had turned down a previous scholarship to go to USC.
No, I hated camp. I won't say I hated it. I mean, now looking back, I didn't hate it. I just wanted to get out of there, you know? Like if you want to do something big, it's just not going to happen in Canton because it's just for something else, you know? So, my mom was like, well, the only reason you're going to get out of here is if you go to school, you know, go to college. So I got really good grades and, I got into Stanford and I got into USC. I forget the other school, and then one school I wanted turned me down. I forget. I think it was like UC Irvine. I only applied to schools in California.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to live in California because it looked good on TV.
So had you been there prior to?
No, I had never been there. I just wanted to go there because my favorite show was Three's Company. And they would just be on the beach all day in bathing suits. And I thought, that looks pretty cool, you know? So I only applied to schools in California and I got in. And I got into USC and I picked USC.
Did you feel like you just blended right in or was it a little different?
It was very different. Yeah, it was extremely different.
And you went for script writing, right? Mm-hmm. Now, is that just strictly script writing or was there a little bit of acting involved? Do they even have that in that class or?
No, I took theater as an elective, but yeah, it was just screenwriting. Okay. Just wrote all day. That was pretty much it.
I would imagine just working some random jobs, making ends meet around there, or?
Oh yeah, I did. I've had a lot of random. Of course, I worked at restaurants. You know, server. Really terrible at it. You know, people look at servers and stuff. I'll be like, that's a real skill. But I used to clean an apartment for this photographer. I did PA. I was a PA, production assistant, for a long time. I worked for MTV for a minute. I tried to be a stripper. That didn't go well. No. I walked in and she said no. She didn't even give me a chance. So, because around USC downtown, there's all these little strip clubs. And I was at an age I didn't think it was a big deal. So
Is that what they're doing or is it luring?
Yeah, so
they
put these ads and it says dancer. It doesn't say stripper, of course. It says dancer makes $650 a week. So at the time that was like $1 million a week, you know, when you're in school, that's a lot of money. So we would go up there and then they had these little jobs where you would just dance with creepy old guys for 5 minutes and then they would tip you. But as soon as we walked in, the lady just said no. I don't know what was wrong with us. She just goes no. And that was it. That's the end of my stripper career. My dancer career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She must have felt that Midwest vibes or something.
Yeah, I don't know what.
She's like, no, y'all get down in the Midwest.
Yeah.
You got to start making demos and stuff though, right? At that time, or?
Yeah, so I'm in school and, I studied writing. I've always been good at just, with the pen, I could always come up with stories and stuff. And I always had like a natural way of putting words together. So, and that's how I got in school, because Stanford had a creative writing program, like teach you how to write books and stuff. And then USC had screenwriting. So I was only applying to schools in California that had writing majors. But so I'm in school and I meet this kid. He's a music major. And he was super fine, and he had a studio. He had a 4-track. That's how old I am. He had a 4-track in his dorm, and he needed someone. He had all these little tracks, and he needed someone to write to him. So he said, "Do you write songs?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I've written a ton of them, because I just thought he was cute, I was trying to hit it right. But we started writing together, and it just really grew on me, and I liked it. You know what I mean? And I felt like I was pretty good at it.
And did they pay you for that, or you just kind of doing it out of
Oh
love?
no, he was just a kid like me. He didn't have no money. I don't think. If he did, he didn't give none to me. Yeah.
When you start performing, or at least just locally in the area, was it?
Yeah. So he had the studio, so it was always kids over there, hanging out, making beats, smoking, and this one kid, he heard my voice and he said, "Hey, will you do this?" He had a gig at this hotel every Sunday playing for brunch, and he said, "Will you do my gig for me? I need a singer. If I don't get a singer, they're not gonna, they're gonna cancel me." So he gave me all these tapes, like, standards, like Frank Sinatra songs and Billie Holiday stuff, like a bunch, like all jazz standards, like Sunday brunch stuff, back in the day anyway. And so I learned all these songs, and then and he was gonna pay me $100 every Sunday. So I definitely took it. I didn't think I could sing at all, but I did it, just for the $100.
Were your government name's Natalie, but were you going by Macy Gray at that time when all that was taking place?
No, I did, because I wasn't planning on it. It was just something to do on Sundays. It was just like, every Sunday they had me a little $100, and that was like, at the time, that's the most money I had ever made.
Yeah. I just seen not too long ago, I think they said the Nintendo was like almost around 100 back then. I was like, I could imagine in the 90s a Nintendo costing that much, Now I don't know what we paying for a PlayStation nowadays, but yeah, it was.
Those are like, what are those, like 700?
It's crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Well, when did the name Macy Gray come about, or how did it come about?
Well, I had it in my head, I was riding my bike, I had a neighbor, and I fell by his mailbox, and I looked up, and it said Macy Gray. It was like, you ever seen Boogie Nights?
I've heard of the movie, definitely. I think I've probably seen little bits and pieces.
Oh, so anyway, Mark Wahlberg, he's sitting in the hot tub, and the guy asked him, What do you want your porn name to be? He was a porn star. And he said, Dirk Diggler. He goes, I had a dream, and I looked up in my dream, and it said Dirk Diggler, right? So it's kind of like how that happened for me. I fell down, and I looked up in the mailbox, said Macy Gray, and it just kind of stuck with me, I just never forgot it. I don't know why.
Hey, it was meant to be.
I guess so.
You got a unique sound, you're diverse. Mm-hmm. Do you like to be categorized, like, when people put you in certain genres, or how would you feel your music is categorized? Like, I think you said you're kind of big into jazz,
I like
soul, rock, pop.
I'm a big music fan. Yeah, I'm open.
So anything they label you as, you'll take it?
No, I don't like labels. I think I understand that the music industry has to put stuff in boxes to do stuff, but I think there's really good music, and I think there's music for the moment. I think, and of course, there's hip hop. Like, hip hop is hip hop. There's nothing you can do about it, right? But I think some people just make really good music. So that's my goal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's an inspiring story. I heard how Atlantic Records discovered you. Can you tell us or give us this story? I think you were performing.
Yeah, I was at the Roxy in LA. And so actually they still do it, but they have this thing when you're starting out called pay to play. So you pay the promoter, and then he puts you on these little nights, and then maybe there's a headliner, and then you pay. At the time it was like $100, and then he'd give you 10 tickets, and if he'd give you 20 tickets, and then you're supposed to go sell them and get your money back. And if you're smart, you'll make an extra $100. But we never sold our tickets. But so we would pay $100, and we get a slot. And so I'll never forget. It was like Tuesday at 6:00. It was like nobody's anywhere at Tuesday at 6:00, right? So I think there was maybe 8 people that came to see us. It was the guitar player's girlfriend, the bass player's girlfriend. It was like the regulars, right? And we're on stage, and then in walks this guy. I guess he was coming to see the band after us, but he came early, and he turned out to be A&R for Atlantic Records. And then after the show, he pulled me aside and asked me if I'd do a showcase for Atlantic. So and then I got signed shortly after.
So do you think in that particular day that the pay to play was it worth it? At least making that connection.
Yeah, I mean, we had done it a million times, even now. But I think it's a lot more expensive now, pay to play. But yeah, we had done it a bunch and nothing would ever happen. So it was definitely just from God, because like I said, it was a Tuesday at 6. Like I don't even know why he was there.
And I say inspiring because I know like a lot of local artists are in that same boat till this day.
Yeah.
And like just hearing that story just lets you know there is faith. Like,
oh, totally.
Don't give up. You never know who's watching. It's just one of those stories. You never know who's watching or listening.
Oh, I know. You never know still. Even after you make it, you gotta, there's somebody watching,
Was your like mom supportive in the music at this time, or when you?
No, not at all. She didn't. She was not. She was like, she had been spending money to send me to school, and she wanted me to be a doctor. So, no, she wasn't. She wasn't thinking my music was gonna work out. No.
So you end up recording this an album with Atlantic, right? Mm-hmm. And what was the reason that the album didn't work out or come to fruition?
Well, the whole time I was pregnant. I had, I think, I was pregnant with my first. Right. So in the middle of the album, my stomach started showing, and I don't think they were cool with that. Maybe because I didn't tell them, or I don't know, or maybe they wouldn't have known what to do. It definitely freaked them out because I got dropped shortly after.
It must have freaked you out because I heard you didn't even really want kids or plan on having kids.
No, we definitely didn't plan on having kids. But I met my ex-husband, and I think I got pregnant 6 weeks after I met him. By the time we did the math, it was about 6 weeks.
Oh, and did that take place in California? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I met him at a pool party.
Pool party?
Yeah.
Was it a live pool party at least?
No, it was like 10 people there, and he was one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you said ex, so obviously you're divorced.
Oh, yeah, divorced, yeah.
Did you move back to Canton, Ohio after all this?
I did. So we ended up having 3 kids, and when I was pregnant with my third, it stopped working out completely. And he actually kicked me out the house. So I moved. I didn't have nowhere else to go but back to my mom's. So I went back to Ohio, and I had my third baby in Canton.
And so you guys are pretty much distanced at this time?
We were set, like we got back together a couple times after, but yeah, it wasn't happening. Yeah.
Okay. So you just like single mother, I guess?
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
I guess a change of events. There's a guy, Jeff Blue. Did he reach out? How did Jeff Blue know you, or how would that even relationship?
So I did, in the middle of, in the time span of all that, I did, I had a manager, who wasn't really, didn't really do much with my career, but Jeff was up and coming A&R at Zomba Music, which is now Universal. So, and I guess he met with her. He was looking for artists, and he was kind of meeting with everybody he could. And he met with her, and he said, "So do you have anything?" And she started playing him, just stuff that she had laying around. And my demo tape was one of them. And he told me that she introduced it like, "You're not gonna like this, but I'll play it for you." And it was my demo tape, and it had I Try on it.
He said you're not gonna like it, because I heard Jeff is kind of the guy. He kind of likes those type of artists that have been passed on and stuff.
Yeah, he's he discovered Linkin Park. Who else? A
think
lot
he's
of, I don't know
Corn
his
and
whole.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. He's pretty. He definitely has an ear.
So was this something like where he signed you, or were you guys shopping around demos at this time?
No, so I'm in Ohio at my mom's house. I'm about 7 months pregnant, and he calls out of the blue, like just, oh, hello, this is Jeff Blue, and I heard your tape, and I wanted to fly you out to New York to meet with Zomba Publishing. He wanted to give me a publishing deal. So because of what happened with Atlantic, I didn't want to tell him I was pregnant. So I just said, oh, I don't know, maybe I can do it around November, because that's when my baby was due. And he was like, what? Because, usually people jump on that. Like, okay, I'm coming right now. He said, what? November? And I said, yeah, I'm just busy. I just got stuff to do. So, and I thought, we hung up and I didn't think I'd ever hear from him again. But he called a month later and he was just going, yeah, I just want to know if we can set up a date yet. And I said, oh, yeah, I don't know. Let me call you back. And then I totally forgot all about it. And then I had the baby, because, I was having a baby. And then he called again. And we set up a date, and I went out the next day. I had just had my baby like a week ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe less than that. And then he flew me to New York. I met with Zomba. This guy named Richard Blackstone was head of it at the time. And yeah, they signed me. I was signed in like 2 weeks.
You had the baby with you?
When I went, no, my brother drove me, because we didn't have, we were in Ohio. It was about a 6-hour drive to New York, so we drove.
So they signed you within about 2 weeks of all this?
Yeah, he sent me an offer the next day, and I was super young, and they offered me $35,000, and I was, I had never heard of money like that, so.
What do you think the average was for most artists back in that time? Was 35 the norm, or was that kind of a low ball?
Yeah, I think that was the starter kit number.
Okay, the standard.
Yeah, probably if I had had a lawyer, I probably could have got more or something. But I was just excited.
You got a track with the Black Eyed Peas, Love Won't Wait. Mm-hmm. When did that take place?
Well, I had known Will when I started my first record. I'm trying to remember how we met, but he was just he had the Peas, and he was coming up, and they had never had like a big hit yet though. They had put out Joints and Jams. Remember that song? How old are you?
I'm 36.
Oh, you might not remember all this stuff, but they had a song called Joints and Jams, and I remember he was kind of, he was trying to get his records right, because Interscope wasn't promoting him like they wanted him to. So we hung out a lot. Like, we got to be friends, and I remember, and then like maybe 2 years later he did Monkey Business, and I was like, so all of a sudden his music changed, and he said he just I asked him, and he said, well, I just been going to clubs and hanging out and just watching what people react to, listening to records, and he was talking about the records that he liked. He just kind of studied it and figured it out, So we knew each other pretty well. We were kind of coming up at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, they were going through it with Eazy-E, Ruthless Records, putting them on the shelf and stuff, so.
Yeah, people don't know he'd been around for a minute. Yeah. A lot of artists been around for a long time before you see him. Yeah.
So for that record, because I heard it and I was like, man, you sound kind of like super young on it.
Yeah.
Was that like the earliest, at least, that we hear you on a track, or did you have tracks that were released? Because I know the Atlantic, obviously, album didn't get released. So Was there any other tracks that were out there, maybe to the public, that people can go back and, say this is the earliest Macy Gray track?
Oh, I don't know. Because I don't know what's out. I see stuff that and I was like, how did they get that record? I don't know.
Well, what's bringing us here today is your 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
For your album. Of course, You know, I love to dig deep into this because, like I said, it's 25 years, which, like I said, congratulations, by the way. And 7 million copies.
Well, it's 9 worldwide.
Was it 9 worldwide?
Yeah, they always get that number.
And you said Japan originally broke this. Was it just the album or was it a single that Japan broke?
They were the first ones to play I Try. But I was on Sony, and Sony's is owned by, I forget his name, Ichimara. So, I mean, it's a huge corporation, but they actually, at the time, they had one owner. And so I think that had a lot to do with it.
Now, I don't know, I read somewhere, it said, was it like in a romantic comedy movie, or I don't even know, that I Try, was that already on a previous like soundtrack or something like that?
Well, I had my publishing deal, so they were getting me little slots in movies and stuff. So I had one in Picture Perfect, and then it was in a movie called Love Jones.
Okay.
Before it came out.
And then you achieved a Grammy for Best Female Pop Performance.
I know, that's wild, right? I got pop performance.
Is everything hitting you all at like one time? Like, I mean, is it coming pretty quick, or how you feel like things were taking place?
It was really fast. It was because I think at the time I was just so happy to be doing it. I wasn't really expecting anything. I wasn't like counting the days. It was like I told you, I got my 35 grand, and then they bought me a car, and then I started touring. I went to the United Kingdom, and that was the first time I had been out of the country, really, except for Canada. Everybody goes to Canada now. That doesn't really count, does it?
Yeah, no, because that was another thing I wanted to ask you, because you have such a, it was well received in the UK.
Yeah, I technically I really broke in England. That's really where I was first.
It's like whatever America did, they just kind of one-upped it every time. It's like, you know. I mean, how was that feeling where it's just like, you just said you ain't never really been across seas, and here a country is really supporting you?
No, that was a big deal, because I just like I said, it's cool when you don't expect. Like now, I've been doing it a long time, and I expect all this stuff. It's kind of a drag,
Yeah.
But when you don't expect anything, and things are just coming to you, big or small, it's like it's like Christmas, Just people saying that they liked my record was cool to me. I was good with that.
You had some big guns behind it. You had Andrew Slater, executive producer, and he had already had some Grammys, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he's a big manager. He managed me, Fiona Apple, and what was that band called? Bob Dylan's son.
Oh, because wasn't one of them was like Headlights?
Yeah, what was that called?
Flowers?
The Wallflowers.
Wallflowers, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to go back and listen to it, because I'm raised off a lot of classic music too. So, I'm kind of young, but it's like, the moms stay bumping it in the car. So I'm like, I remember all this,
Exactly.
You did have a producer, Daryl Swan.
Yeah, Daryl. Yeah.
That summer, you guys released the, track "Do Something." Had a little bit of that Outkast flavor.
Yeah.
To it. What was the statement, or did you get to even choose the single for this album, the first single that is? What direction did you want to go with it?
They kind of had it all figured out. My label, Epic. They kind of. I mean, I had, they made me think that I had input, but they really had it all figured out already. I think we did do something, because they thought it was really important that I go to my people first. I remember that conversation. So we went to all the, like, Vibe magazine and all the urban magazines, I think The Source, and we went to all the black radio stations first. And it actually, looking back, I think my career would have been totally different had I not done that,
Okay.
Because I'm not really technically a R&B artist. So I did that. So we put out Do Something first, and then they used the legs of that to put out I Try, because I Try is a straight up pop song,
Yeah.
So I think I'm glad I did that, because It had changed everything.
So I think that was Do Something was the summer. So I think we go into fall and then I Try comes out.
Exactly.
And you guys recorded that track like in a garage? Was that, or at least wrote the track, not recorded, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, we wrote it. So no, well, Daryl had a little setup when we were writing, but mostly he was an engineer at this studio called Paramount. It's pretty legendary. Anybody who lives in LA who does music knows Paramount. And he used to sneak me in, like he'd have a session and then he would say, okay, they're leaving at 1 a.m. And so I'd go at 1 a.m. and we'd do some stuff. Or if somebody didn't show up, he would sneak me in. I didn't have, I couldn't afford no studio. But that's how we got everything recorded, really.
And I mean, is it true kind of somewhat about your ex-husband?
What?
The track I Try?
Oh yeah, that whole first album is about him. He used to tell me, he goes, stop writing songs about me. That was his argument.
And you really didn't even want to release I Try as a single?
I thought it was too wordy. I thought it was mushy, you know. I was younger. I wanted to be in the club, I wanted to be like, Nicki Minaj or somebody.
Yeah.
I wanted people like, dancing to my stuff,
Not realizing it touches a lot of people, you know? And I mean, that's, how often do you see people cry to your records or your performances and stuff like that?
Oh, a lot, especially at shows. People, but I think it takes them back to something and they get all emotional, That's what music is supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like today I heard was the anniversary of the passing of Biz Markie, and I started bumping his records. Man. I know.
Biz. I got a little radio station, and so I used to love starting the radio station off with, with his track. Just a little fun vibe, to open up with some Biz Markie.
Yeah, he's awesome.
You, the singles after that, Still and Why Didn't You Call, they just pretty much really put the nail, and just really cement the album. Like you said 9 times platinum? Mm-hmm. And those are fun tracks too.
Yeah.
Quadruple platinum in the UK, so like I said, there's that obvious connection there. Mm-hmm. Is it true, did you go back and buy your album off Atlantic?
Yes.
What was from them not maybe, taking advantage of the situation, or is it just, did you feel like?
Oh yeah, that was a conversation. They didn't want them to put it out.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know what they were afraid of, but yeah, we went and got it.
Well, things are looking on the up and up. You get the movie Training Day. Mm-hmm. How did you land that role?
So Antoine Fuqua, I was Training Day his first movie. I know it made him famous.
For who?
Antoine Fuqua, the director.
Oh gosh, I'm not sure.
So he called up my agent, and I had never done any acting. I really wasn't interested in it at all. I didn't see myself in front of the camera at all. And then but he called, and then I was at a studio. He showed up at the studio, and he was really trying to get me in this movie. And I thought to myself, he must be an idiot, because I don't know how to act. Why is he hitting me up? This dude don't know what he's doing. So I kind of blew him off. But and then he invited me to go to dinner, which I'm always down for that. That's the key to my heart, dinner. So we went to Mr. Child's, and he goes, by the way, Denzel is in it. And I said, what? Because I didn't know. I never asked. And then I didn't even read the script because I didn't plan on doing it. So I said, what? And then that's when I kind of agreed to do it because I wanted to meet Denzel. That's how stupid I was.
I heard the actor Noel G. Mm-hmm. He said that at times Denzel was approachable, but you also had to know when he wasn't approachable because he was in character mode. Did you get that vibe or that feeling from Denzel? Like, I can approach him, or maybe I shouldn't say, approach him.
No, see, that's the thing. I didn't know anything to be afraid of him.
Okay.
I just really wanted to get a picture of him. Talked about mom. So as soon as we got to the set, I went right to his trailer. And he was in character though. He had this look in his eye, and I asked him. I was like, "What should I do? I don't know how to act." And he said, "Just be you in the situation." And I'm sure it's much deeper than that, but that was his shortcut for me, So
I love your part. You had me cracking
so I
up
said, okay.
You got to get lick it up to do your business up in here.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's like something's about to crack off at that point in the movie.
Yeah.
Like you played it excellent because it's like,
Thank you.
he was like, let me see the warrant. They weren't really giving you the warrant, so just like you made that call and all of a sudden all the, gangsters came out and yeah, I love it. I could watch Training Day over and over.
Yeah, it's such a great movie. I know. Can you believe I was blown off Antoine Fuqua? What an idiot. I know.
I did hear Ethan Hawke though. He was very approachable.
Him too. Well, he's such a great actor. Yeah, and I was complaining about him. I was like, "You're not helping me get into my part."
Heading into the second album, is it called The ID or how you say the name of it?
The id.
The id.
So your brain has an ego, superego, and an id.
Okay.
It's a Freud theory. So the id is your that's like the side of your brain that wants to have sex and wants to have fun and wants to jump in the ocean and stuff like that.
And that's what you got Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
Sweet Baby. Did you have any working relationship prior to having her?
Not really. I had met Erykah a few times. But Rick Rubin produced that record, so I think that's what got her on the record. I don't know if it was me.
Okay. Was she really on the Sexual Revolution track?
No, she's just on Sweet Baby.
Okay. Because they got it out there. She's labeled on the track, and I'm like, where's Erykah Badu on the Sexual Revolution?
Oh, no, she's on Sweet Baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, So who was ever out there labeling Erykah Badu on that track?
It's wrong.
Yeah. Once again, successful in the UK. Mm-hmm. Certified gold. What was the, seeing the multi-platinum go into the gold, how were you feeling at this time?
Well, see, that's when you get into expecting things, So it was kind of a downer, like, why? That record still sold 3 million copies, but yeah, I think even the label, but that was the thing. That's really, because everybody made me feel so bad about it because it didn't do as well as the first one, so the label was complaining. They started pulling stuff back, and they didn't want to spend as much money on my videos, and it's really crazy. So I was made to feel bad. I felt like a loser because I only sold 3 million records.
Yeah, and now artists would be thankful to go gold.
Oh, I know.
How do you see? I know we got streams and everything right now. Well, how do you see the music business right now? The state that it's in with album sales, Spotify giving you 0.00 whatever of a cent per stream.
It's really sad. It was because when I was coming up, everybody had money. We're all making money, and everybody had a smile on their face, and you heard all these different kind of artists coming out, and you had rock and roll, and you had hip hop, you had reggae, jazz was booming, and I just think they just turned it into, people just get greedy, and they all of a sudden they wanted to. It just became about numbers, know, and so I think A&R started. Not A&R, but the label stopped taking chances on different kind of artists back then, and then Napster came along, and then no one was prepared for that, and they handled it all wrong. So And then we got into selling singles for 99 cents, and they just really cheapened it. And I
Right.
never understood why they did that. I never understood.
I mean,
point
even
of
do you
that.
think now, if you were getting the 99 cents, it'd be a
That's
little
it.
bit more appreciative?
Exactly. Now you would love the 99 cents.
Right.
But now it's nothing. Now it's 0.0003 cents, you know? So, but I remember that, like, when they started selling singles, everybody was complaining because the artist would get, well, back then, so the split was Apple would get a third, the label would get a third, and the artist would get a third. So looking back, it was actually a proper deal. But now, you know, the artist doesn't even get that.
Right.
So it's really, I just don't understand why they went that route. I'll never understand
When
that.
you're coming off of CDs anywhere from $10 to $15, even some for $20.
I know, but it's,
And then it's just like ringtones became a thing.
yeah. Yeah, that's right, ringtones. That was even cool. Those are gone now. But I think it's like for the fan, if you get to roll over and push a button and listen to your song, that's
Right.
cool. But like the experience of going out and standing in line for the next, you know, the record that you're waiting for, and borrowing your boyfriend's CD for the night, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like all that's gone. So you just take the experience out of it, and it's cheaper and it's easier. But I mean, that's not always a good thing, you know. I don't think.
Well, you're now, was it 11 albums deep?
Yeah.
You released the album The Way, which came out on my birthday, so shout out to you.
Well,
I know you didn't intentionally do that, but I just thought that
I
was
did
cool.
it on purpose.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was the whole point of it.
What was that particular date?
The date of it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Okay. I thought you were talking about releasing the date because it was October 7th.
Yeah, because you said it was your
2014.
birthday. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, I was
Okay, I
joking.
get what you're saying there.
Yeah.
But your last album, The Reset, what was the direction with The Reset, you know, being that's...
So the reset was written during COVID. So everybody was really, you know, emotional and going through it, and so it was a cool time to make an album. I really thought that was gonna change the music business. I was like, everybody's gonna go in and they're gonna make these really deep, awesome records, and it just didn't happen, you know. So, but we did. We made a really great record during that time, and it didn't really get a lot of push because everybody was shut down. So, but I love that album. It's a good album.
I feel like from looking at the reviews throughout your album process and all the 11 albums, some people the critics would come and be like, oh, this is her best yet, even after, you know, that, or they'd be like, this is the comeback album, you know?
Yeah.
So like, what do you think the recipe for all that is for albums down the road, you know, for them to still say that about your music, that, oh, this is her best yet, you know, even if the
right.
numbers ain't doing what, you know, what
Yeah.
critics are saying.
I think I've learned you just really gotta go in and do what you really feel like. If you get caught up in trying to fit in or trying to have a hit, then I mean, you can do that, and some people know how to do that. Like some people know how to walk into the studio and make a song that is ear candy. Like it's easy on, even if you don't like it, it's on your ear. It's like psychological.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but it's you know, it's all come down to money. You know, most people don't realize how I guess in life, you know, wins are bought. You know what I mean? Like if you want to win the Super Bowl, you got to pay. You got to go out and you got to get yourself a great quarterback, and you got to give him $50 million. You know, you want to win the championships, you know, you got to pay. Who just won the championship? I forgot.
Eagles, I think. Or what sport
No,
you talking
basketball.
about? Basketball. Think, is that Thunder?
Yeah, the Thunder, you got to go pay Shy, whatever. Or if you want to, you know, if you want to win poker, you got to spend a lot of money to learn how to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same in music. You have to, you know, you buy the streams almost. You buy the TV time. it's you buy the radio. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, you gotta make something proper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of kids out there that have money and they spend it, but they don't have the music. Like the music isn't even. People don't even want to take their money for it because it's not ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But any artist who's on top, a big reason is because the label got behind it. So that's really the sport, is to get your label behind you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or to have the money to do it yourself, and then have something proper to put out, of course. But just so many things have to line up for things to come out in music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's timing, and then you want to get a feature now. Like now features are the most important thing. And then you got to wait for that artist, and then you got to make a deal. You know what I mean? It's a lot to put a record out. But I still think at the end of the day, people like great music, You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you were going through a lot of labels at one point, or I ain't gonna say a lot, but you were going through it,
Yeah.
Do you feel they had your back going through all this process?
Sometimes. Like Sony definitely put like my first album, we sold 9 million copies. They spent a lot of money. They spent a ton of money on that record. And then I went to Interscope, and that got a little bit political because I was on Will's label. So what they do is, like, when you see those sub labels, so they'll give you a budget, right? So say you walk in and you say, I just signed this great new rapper and I want to put him out. And so they'll say, okay, here's $1 million, right? But if you're an artist like Will was, you're gonna want that money for your own project. So it's weird signing to an artist label because
I heard it never really works out.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean,
I didn't know that, but I mean sometimes. But it's difficult. It's another hustle that you gotta win.
Because I see J. Cole. He's got artists that I'm still kind of waiting. They've been with J. Cole, but you're just kind of waiting for that moment with the artist,
I know, it's just an ego thing. It's like, oh, we got an extra 3 million laying around. I just wrote this new song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there's artists that put out really good stuff, but it's, they call it a game because it's just a constant hustle. It's a constant, like, you gotta figure this out, and then you gotta figure that out, and then you gotta do that, and then you gotta get some money, and then you gotta, then you gotta come up with a story to tell. It's nonstop.
How, at some point, I mean, you're getting a lot of acting. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, who could say they got a performance in a superhero movie? Not many people could say that.
Right.
I feel like you even had some kind of like some moments where it's just like, for instance, you did Do Something, but then you go on to do Idlewild with Outkast.
Oh, that was so much fun. That was like the best fun I ever had.
You was just going off on Homegirl. That was funny. She was up there performing. What made it fun? First of all, did Outkast even, had they known about your track at this time? Do Something?
Oh yeah, they knew about me. For a while we had the same manager, and
Oh, okay.
I remember him telling me that they were upset because I didn't reach out to him before I put out Do Something, but I was just starting out. I didn't even know you could call up the Outkast, But I got to know him. We did this movie, Out Wild. We had a ball on the set, and it was cool. I brought my kids, and they put us in an apartment. It was cool.
And I got some cousins, because, you were on the Shrek soundtrack. My cousin loves the Shrek. And I had another cousin that wanted to tell you that he loved As Told by Ginger, the theme song. He said you did a great...
That's my biggest accomplishment.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Just any movie?
Any movie.
Oh, I have a lot. I know a few like I could sit here and recite Goodfellas to you. I know that movie by
I love
heart.
me some mafia movies.
I know Scarface almost by heart. I like love stories. I like movies. Have you ever seen The Champ?
Is that boxing?
Yeah, the kid in his.
Okay, I'm so bad with like now I grind so much that I don't really have time to watch TV.
It's pretty.
My girlfriend's the same way. She's like, you know what I was doing? Sleeping and working, sleeping and working.
Exactly. Well, you know, back when people watched movies. But that movie still makes me cry. It was on like 2 weeks ago and I still cried. But I have a lot of favorite movies, you know. I liked all the Beverly Hills Cops, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Did you see those?
Yeah, I did.
You saw those? Yeah. No, you didn't.
A little bit. Beverly with you were talking about what Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
It one of my favorite movies, so I can't. It's I've seen a lot of his stuff was later on that I liked.
Oh,
Life and stuff like that.
See, you're younger than me. That was what made him really big, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already big, but Beverly Hills Cop made him like.
What's the stand-up where he's?
megastar.
I don't know if he's in the all black, the leather.
The stand-up.
Or yeah, maybe it's not even leather. The stand-up he was really hilarious.
Oh.
So, he had like funny parts in there.
Yeah.
But, like my favorite is like, I like Martin Lawrence and, Mike Epps and, those
You
types.
like comedies.
Yeah. Eddie's cool. I love Eddie. But,
Yeah.
he's talented. He can sing, Some people may not agree, but, I seen this.
Oh, that's right. He had that Rick James song. That song was huge.
You've had collabs with Ariana Grande, Justin Timberlake, Slick Rick to Big Daddy Kane, Bobby Brown to Natalie Cole. I mean, what's your favorite collab that you've ever, whether that's on your track or with them? What's your favorite collab?
A favorite collab, probably. I did a remix with Mos Def and DJ Premier. That was pretty cool.
Man, Mos Def, yeah. I could see. I don't know if I checked that one out.
It's a remix. I have a song called "I've Committed Murder."
Okay.
He did the remix.
Who's you have a celebrity crush?
Right now,
Overall?
Jason Momoa. But
Okay.
I think he has a girlfriend.
What about I think I seen your celebrity crush too was Prince, right?
No, he's always been too short for me.
Yeah.
He's
My mom loves some Prince and Michael Jackson.
Is she short?
Somewhat, but
He's pretty short.
yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like this. Hey, baby.
Oh, you guys had some moments. I mean, didn't you have like a jamming session or something like that?
Yeah, we used to. Whenever I'd go see him, he'd call me up on stage. We talked a few times. I got to know him a little bit.
Okay.
He's super cool. I never had a crush on him, no. No offense, he was just too small for me.
Well, you've had I guess we'll just recently you had the Masked Singer in UK. Everyone was freaking out.
Yeah.
You walked off the stage, I mean, are you competitive?
Yeah, so I'm up there and I'm singing my heart out, and then like some guy comes around and they pick the guy, and the guy couldn't even sing,
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, what am I doing here?
What I didn't like was they said, oh, we have a feeling it's Macy Gray. And so they voted for, was it the Bear or something like that?
Yeah, some kind of bears.
Just so they could see if it was you.
Yeah, it was so wrong.
I felt that was kind of weird.
I was so offended.
Yeah. But, you had, was it the Australia, I think, that you had made, the top 3 or 4?
Yeah, I've done 3 of them now. Yeah, I did the US one.
Are they fun?
No.
No?
No, they pay really well. It's hard to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we get out of here, I just wanted to see, what your advice would be to the artists that, that are out right now, trying to, follow, your journey as an icon, maybe someone who maybe have that voice, but someone's like, that's not it. What's your advice to those upcoming artists?
like I said, a lot of things got to come together. I think number one, you got to practice. You have to be really good. Like people forget, like the artists that you like the most, they're really good. Not, you know what I mean? Like they might have great songs, but they're really great at what they do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would say number one is really master your craft, because well, when you're good at something, people will find you, especially with social media. You know what I mean? And then I would say really got to hunt down the right song for you. Like if you're not a writer, you know, you should be in the studio or be on social media looking for kids that write, and you know, you really got to find the song, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's what people are buying, you know? And if you don't have the song, there's nothing to buy, you know? So, and I would say just have to, like, once you figure out who you are and what you want to say, to really stick to that, because, you know, part of I would say the biggest mistakes that I've made is when I confused people, like when I went off, they call it off brand now, but like if people see you a certain way and then suddenly you wake up and you're this other thing, and it's not that they don't like you or they're turned off, it's just that you've now confused them, and people don't really, they don't really care about you enough to always stick with that, to say, oh, I can't figure that out, you know, so they, you know, you gravitate to things that are easy for you. That's just the world we live in. So, you know, your biggest artists, I think, you know, they're consistent. Like Justin Bieber, he's consistent. He's always Justin Bieber. You know what I mean?
Day and age where you have to be consistent.
Yeah. You know? So I would just say figure out who you are, who you want to be, because you can. It's not about being fake. Like if you come up with something that works and it's not completely you, that's okay. But just know you got to stick with that, you know, and practice and you know, go all the way wherever you got to go to get a song, to get the right song, you know.
What can we expect from Macy Gray going forward? Any projects?
Yeah, so I'm doing the cover records. We have a couple. We have another one coming out at the end of the month, I think, and I'm doing a movie with Evan Ross and Jelly Roll.
Okay.
I shoot that in like 2 weeks. And then
This is Jelly Roll's first movie?
I don't know. I don't know much about him.
Okay.
I just know who he is, of course. I've never looked him up or nothing. And then I wrote a TV show that I'm pitching, that I'm working on, hopefully. And then I'm working on a cannabis line too.
Okay. You smoke?
I did what's edibles. I like edibles, unfortunately.
Okay.
I wish I didn't, because they like give me the munchies and they've caused me gain weight. But yeah, I do like edibles. So we're working on edible thing. Should be cool.
Expanding the business.
Yeah, just stuff that I'm into, stuff that makes sense for me, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Please go out and support any way you can. Stream it nowadays, but if you like me, go give you a physical copy. 25th anniversary on How Life Is.
Thank you.
You know, congratulations on the 25.
Thank you so much.
This is Grind 365, the podcast. Where can they find you at?
At Macy Gray on Instagram and at Macy Gray Official on TikTok. I'm blowing up on TikTok.
There it is. I need to get my TikTok game up.
Right.
Grind 365, the podcast. This is another one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Showing up.
I had a good time.
Salute.
Salud.
24/7.